This is Attorney Antonio Moore coming to you from Tone Talks, here to have a discussion this Sunday. A new article came out from Forbes, is that the great wealth transfer isn't 72 trillion, but it's 129 trillion. So the question today I'm asking is, what y'all gonna do? You got the full family, you got all the accoutrements, the Thanksgivings, the Halloweens, you got the house, you got the mortgage, you got the property tax, you got the 2 cars, you got the kids, but you don't got the college savings, you don't got the life insurance, and some of y'all don't even have the health and the car insurance. Because basically what they're now saying is that the way you live is through your parents. I've been telling you guys that for about 10 years now, but they're admitting it now, and I just want to know, how are you paying for this? Because it feels like a lot of wish fulfillment. And this was the consequence of all of the reality shows, of Blackish being a wish fulfillment show created by Shannon Dungy for ABC, who isn't there anymore. But she gave us this garbage that a lot of young Blacks ate up and did no politics as a result of, meaning this Blackish show that was wish fulfillment. And now what's happening is, I'm asking the question today, not about reparations, not about white oppression. What y'all gonna do? Your boomers ain't gonna leave you nothing. We just out here playing house. It feels like a lot of play cousins. So your wife is a play cousin. Your mom
is. The sports betting industry consciously and specifically targeting African Americans as potential customers? Absolutely, he said. You see it in Black content creators. And what I said is, from their shows being presented by or sponsored, from Joe Budden to Club Shay Shay to Gil's Arena, meaning Gilbert Arenas and Shannon Sharp, the gambling industry runs national commercials with Kevin Hart and Jamie Foxx. Again, as I just said, you don't use Jamie Foxx to target white people. And if you don't understand, then you just don't understand. And white people know him too. You don't use Jamie Foxx unless you're targeting Black urban folk, tying him back to all of the movies that he did 20 years ago. The gambling industry runs national commercials with Kevin Hart and Jamie Foxx nonstop. This, in my opinion, is to target a core audience found in Black homes. By way of example, Mr. Moore offered a comparison between 2 sports programs, one hosted by Colin Cowherd, who is white, and the other hosted by Mr. Sharp, who is Black. If you were to contrast 2 shows, Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay on YouTube and Colin Cowherd's The Herd Show on Fox, and watch the 30-second read ads, you see the difference. While Cowherd is reading about mental health, if you watch Colin Cowherd's Fox The Herd Show, he does 30-second reads as well, just like the one I just showed you. But he reads about mental health. The site betterhelp.com. He reads about tankless water heaters. He is targeting the white middle class and giving them what I feel productive items to buy.
All right, Shalom. This is the brother Nahalia from the GMS Orlando camp. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rukar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasha Allah. And a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwad, who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. This is Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 22. And it reads, "But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Who gave Jacob for a spoil, and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord, he against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law." All right, now I want to go into a lesson on 2 clips you just saw from 2 different videos from Tone Talks, basically covering the overall condition of the Southern Kingdom in particular, but it really involves the entire nation of Israel, all right, which consists of Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, and our condition as a nation of people on this side of the earth. And I want to bring this one out as well. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12. "As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths." All right, because in those 2 videos, in one video you saw the reality, right, that the baby boomers, which consist of those Edomites, during the baby boomer age, are going to pass $129 trillion to the younger generation of Edomites. Whereas Jake is, again, poor and afflicted. All right. And then the other video highlights how the leaders of our people, the people that are platformed, like these sports guys, even when you deal with entertainment, they're all willing to throw their own people under the bus so that they can have some sort of comfort above what the average Negro, Latino, or Native American is dealing with. And this is why he pointed out how the sports betting is being promoted to basically Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Just kind of like the numbers game when you deal with Harlem, back in, I forget what time period, but, Harlem and a lot of places in the South and in the North had numbers, which is basically the precursor to the lottery, and it's basically a form of selling hope. Okay, that even though you're poor and afflicted, if you take your chances on this, there's a chance that you'll come out on top. And we're in a point now through the Spirit where our people are more focused on being the exception than trying to change the average condition of our people. And what I mean by that is that our people don't care about the average Negro, Latino, or Native American. It's a dog-eat-dog world in the eyes of 2/3 of our people. And this is why they're going to ultimately be destroyed on this side, because they refuse to acknowledge who gave us up to this condition. All right. Who gave us up as a spoil. All right. Let's go here. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28. And I want to jump down to verse 45. All right. And it reads, "Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee." I want to jump down. And let's go here. This is verse 65. And it reads, "And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee. And thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life." All right. And again, this goes back to Isaiah 42, where the Lord is asking a rhetorical question. Who gave you over? Who gave you to this condition? Why is the situation with you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans the way it is? Why are there very few Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that are able to rise above the ranks, if you will, while everybody else suffers? And those who rise above, the only thing they can really sell you is things that are detrimental to you as a nation of people. When you deal with Tone Talks, he used a very beautiful example of how, these celebrities, they're willing to take any endorsement, especially those endorsements that are harmful to Jake. And it's because the scriptures talk about the shepherds pitying us not. Because when you look at our people's condition, when you look at the actual numbers, all right, the numbers tell a different story. All right. Matter of fact, let me go here to Zechariah 11. And I want to jump down to verse 4. And it reads, "Thus saith the Lord my God, Yahweh Shemel Shai, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them," talking about Esau, "and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not." Because one of the biggest businesses, if you will, amongst Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans is selling hope. That's what pastors are famous for. They're not famous for teaching the scriptures as the scriptures saith. They're famous, all right, and they're paid well for teaching our people smooth things or telling them smooth things and ultimately selling them hope. All right. And this is what Jake is doing. When you deal with the TV series Blackish, a very popular TV series, but it was unrealistic. All right. When you deal with I forget the guy's name. It slips my mind. But him having basically a $3 million house, and having these unrealistic ideas of what Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are actually living. And it's meant to be that way to sell our people this idea that we've moved farther than we actually are. And this is why the scriptures talk about us being a poor and afflicted people. All right, because that is the reality. And a lot of our people like to watch these shows and, play the game and tune out our reality. But the reality is this. All right, this says Zephaniah 3:12, and it reads, I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Lord. Because a remnant of us as a nation of people is going to trust in Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, a remnant of our people, the elect, are going to acknowledge that our condition is a product of our disobedience, and they're going to return to the Lord, not go to a seminar and hope that we can all of a sudden accumulate generational wealth in one generation, because that's not how it works. All right, the other video of the wealth transfer is an example of that. All right, when they're telling you generational wealth and they're selling you a course, that's selling hope. It's unrealistic. It's not practical. Meanwhile, these Edomites are collecting wealth that was transferred to them, all right, from their grandparents or their great grandparents, because that's how it actually works. Wealth is supposed to be transferred from the older generation to the younger generation. And Jake doesn't realize that because we've never been taught these things, and our people don't have a ruling class mentality. But you shouldn't start from zero or negative every time you're born into the earth. That's not how it works. But again, the Lord asked a question. Let's go back to it. Isaiah 42:24. Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Because the average Negro, Latino, or Native American are born into a family with nothing. As many generations as your family have been on this side of the world, there's nothing that your family before you can offer you. There's nothing your parents or your grandparents can really offer you. And you're starting from negative or zero. And then you have children, and then you can barely give them anything because you're struggling just to keep them, just to maintain them. And the Lord is asking, who gave you over to this? Because that is the average life of Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. The Jay-Z's, the LeBron James, those are exceptions. And that's why Esau puts those exceptions out there in front of you to make you think you're somewhere you're not. To make you think that there's a level of progress we've reached and we haven't in reality. And when you look at these numbers, it's a reminder of the Lord saying this. Who gave you to the robbers? Who gave you to the spoil? Now, the comfort we have through the Spirit is that the Lord is going to save us from this condition. That we're not going to be saved through jobs. We're not going to be saved through Trump. All right, we're going to be saved through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, and that's the elect. The elect are going to believe that. 2/3 of our people, their hope is in this place. All right, this is Zechariah chapter 4 and verse 6. And it reads, Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, This is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, saying, Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord of hosts. All right, because our people think they can get economic might. Some of them think they can get military might, and they can deliver themselves from the condition that we found ourselves in. And that's just not a reality. Thus saith the Lord. But when you look at these numbers, it's a reminder that our people have hope in vain things. That our people have made lies their refuge. And no matter what you tell them, ultimately, they're going to have to learn this lesson through death by pain. Because those that lead them, all these people that our people go to be led, they're just selling you courses. They're exploiting you. They're selling your hope. They're selling your hope back to you. And it's a false hope. It's a vain hope. Because while they're making money selling you courses, this place is falling. This place is going to fall. Whether our people accept that, believe that or not, it doesn't matter. And even though Esau is going to be able to transfer the wealth that they have from the baby boomers onto the new generation, they're not going to enjoy it. All right. Matter of fact, let's go here. Because all of the wealth that they're transferring, it goes back to the spoils of war, the things that they've stolen. All right, this is Proverbs 28, and I want to jump down to 8. I'll read this. I'll read this in KJV first. It's Proverbs 28:8. He that by usury and unjust gain increaseth his substance, he shall gather it for him that will pity the poor. Because all of that wealth that they are able to transfer is ill-gotten gains, whether they're willing to admit it or not. It's just ill-gotten gains passed over from generation to generation. This is why most of the Fortune 500 companies, their start was in the business of slavery, and that wealth was transferred to where they are now. Wells Fargo comes to mind as an example. Yet, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is going to be translated. And it's not going to be translated through getting more jobs into the economy for Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. It's not going to be through real estate. It's not going to be through CDLs. It's going to be through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Because you have to keep in mind, when these Edomites tell you to pick yourself up by your bootstraps, look up the Homestead Act. I believe it's the Homestead Act of 1889. But look up the Homestead Act. Not only did Esau steal, rape, rob, and murder for what he collected, but he gave money and land to his own people so that they could start their family. They didn't have to pick themselves up by their bootstraps. And that wealth that they gained, they've transferred it down the pipeline, and it's grew. And that's why they're able to transfer $129 trillion of wealth to the next generation of Edomites. Whereas you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, though you built this place, you don't get to enjoy it. All right? Let's get that in the curses. This is... Yep. Slakia. Yep. The Wadi Abba Shemel Shah. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 29. And it reads, And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. And thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. So all of those generations of Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that were enslaved to build this place, none of that wealth, none of that labor was rewarded. So now what Jake has received on this side is nothing. All right. And this is thus saith the Lord. Again, let's read verse 29. It says, And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore. Only oppressed and spoiled. Thus saith the Lord. And you see that playing out in 2024, going into 2025. And what Tone Talks does, and what I take from Tone Talks, his videos, is the numbers, because his solution is voting and reparations. But when you really understand it, those numbers point to what the Lord told us. And this is why the Lord asked that question. Who put you in this condition? All right. Matter of fact, let's go to Baruch. This is Baruch chapter 3 and verse 10. And it reads, How happeneth it, Israel, that thou art in thine enemy's land, that thou art waxen old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead? And this is what the Lord is asking us. And really, when you look at it, the Lord said he gave us over as a spoil because we did not walk in his ways. Now, 2/3 of our people, to them, that's madness. The furthest thing from the truth. Yet they can't save themselves. Yet they, with all of the time we've been here, and all of these methods Jake done tried, whether it's nonviolence with Martin Luther King or the Islam with Malcolm X and the Black Panthers, all of these efforts, none of them have been able to save Jake. And it's ultimately because the Lord is going to save us. And he's not going to save the entire nation of Israel. He's only going to save a remnant, because only that remnant trusts in the Lord. All right, let's go here. This is Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 21. And it reads, the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty power. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. And it's beautiful that you got a guy like Tone Talks, because, again, a lot of these videos we get information from, they aren't from people that believe the scriptures. But we're able to look at the information, the numbers that they bring out, and filter it through the scriptures and go back to what it actually applies to. And it's beautiful through the Spirit, because this shows us, let's go here, as the scriptures say, Psalms 9:16, the Lord is known by the judgment which he executed. So we understand that we're here because of the Lord. And at the same time, the deliverance is going to come through the Lord. All right. Matter of fact, yep. This is 2 Esdras 6:6. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. The deliverance of Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, beginning with the elect, that credit is going to go to the Lord. It's not going to go to Jake organizing and protesting and starting companies. Because if you look at it on paper, if you really look at the numbers, there's no coming back. The wealth gap is too great. There's no way to come back from that. And Jake don't understand that because our people don't have vision, and because they don't have a ruling class mentality, they don't understand you've already been segregated to the bottom. Maybe a few will escape. But for the most part, on average, you've been relegated here. And because we don't own any industry or resources, you don't have a way of getting out. You may be able to increase fiat currency, but inflation will eat it if you don't have assets. And our people don't have assets. And this is just Esau's game. But ultimately, we know through the Spirit, the Lord's going to end his game. And that's why the scriptures say, because of unrighteous dealings and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. All right, so Lord willing, this was edifying with that. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rokah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasher Allah. And a sincere salutation to all Yuakim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. Shalom.